So it's a season, a month of horror and all that shit. I got my money ghost. Ooh. Much money am I gonna waste now on these stupid freaking games? Speaking of horror, I got my Going Man action figure. Yeah, this is actually a famous Japanese character who's known to be like a Robin Hood figure, who was violently killed by slowly dying in a pot of hot boiling water. Yeah, great story for the kiddies here. Speaking of dying, yeah, I'm actually holding this character here because on his ass it says this was released by Working Designs. Yeah, and guess what? The game was never fucking released because Working Designs went out of business, so nothing but tragedy here for these video game figurines. And speaking about failures, why don't I talk about a special game this Halloween? Something that was released by Bandai in 1989. It stars this male protagonist with a short-range weapon. So in this game, you're a humanoid that can be taken to a parallel universe, and you have to fight between yourself and your new alter ego. And the game has a unique theme of classic horror to it. And of course, talking about Monster Party. Wait, Monster Party? Supposed to call the Angry Video Game Nerd here. Oh, I even just watched this DVD. Yeah, wasn't there another game released by Bandai in 1989? Yeah, I went on Wikipedia and there's so many similarities between Monster Party and the game Dr. Jekyll Mr. Hyde. Dr. Jekyll Mr. Hyde was released in April in 1989, and a few months later, Monster Party came out here on the original Nintendo. Same system, same themes, same type of game, action platformer. And another thing both games have in common is that they were both commercial failures. But I don't know, I don't want to dive into the game too much. Let's do a review on it. Some stupid words will come out of my mouth. I'll give an analysis of the game. I'll talk about the graphics, music, gameplay and shit. Let's get this fucking over with. Monster Party, original Nintendo. Okay, so what do you do in this friggin' game? Yep, you're a young kid with a baseball bat, and then some monster comes out towards you, flies out of nowhere and said, hey, wanna be friends? And of course, yeah, said why not? And young Mark McGuire here decides to forge with the monster. So now we know why Mark McGuire got on drugs so early in life. Look at all the pills he'd been taking when he was a kid. Yeah, so unlike Dr. Jekyll Mr. Hyde, when you change into your alter ego, it's fucking amazing. Bert here can shoot out massive long-range fireballs, and he has the ability to fly. Holy shit, this game was actually released before Super Mario Bros. 3, where flying was a big deal and all that. But here, yep, you have the ability to fly, no problem. Yeah, the first level alone is pretty cool because it starts off in this pretty creepy area. There's a whole bunch of faces in the background. And then in the middle of the stage, when you're about to pass this big cactus, everything changes. There's blood everywhere now. All those cute smiling faces in the background now look like decaying flesh. It's all very creepy stuff. Yeah, each stage here has some very weird themes to it. One stage you're in a nice calm lake with some very bouncy music in the background. And then in the next stage, you're in a huge labyrinth with multiple doors. And then you have to see if you can find your way out. Each of the 8 stages here feels very unique from one another. Yeah, even though you only have 1 life in the game, hey, no big deal. You can have the ability to have a huge, massive health bar at the bottom. It's great. Yeah, so Mark McGuire is pretty good here with that, but I think the main reason why a lot of people didn't like this game when they initially played it is because you start out as this, wimpy little kid, you have a short range bat, and you find all these crazy enemies that are hard to hit. When you start out in the first 4 stages here, there are actually 3 different bosses that you had to fight, in order to complete the stage and get the key. It's a unique concept, but these bosses can be tough. And Mark is not totally defenseless here. Yes, he is just a kid. He can't fly, and he can't shoot out massive fireballs and all that shit. But his bat here is actually a pretty decent weapon when you know how to use it. Enemies can shoot out a lot of projectiles, and they can be tough to avoid, but yeah, unlike Bert, you can actually deflect these with your bat. So it takes a little bit of skill, but if you find that enemy is spinning at you a lot or throwing their kids at you, yeah, they'll do that in the game. Yeah, you can actually deflect their shots and kill them with 1 hit if you're lucky enough. I'll be honest, that's kind of brilliant. Yeah, you actually have some pretty good controls here. Yeah, the graphics are very cartoony, but I do like the dark feel the game has. It's actually probably the bloodiest 8-bit Nintendo game ever. Yeah, even though this game has a lot of blood in it, it's just like Puss in Boots for original Nintendo. Very cute action platforming games, starring cute fun characters. It's all very entertaining fun. Any kid could play these games, even though this game is loaded with tons of blood and violence. It's all cartoony fun. It's all cool, E-rated stuff. Even though it's the most bloody Nintendo game ever made, still any kid can play it and not be traumatized. Except when you see the end to it. That is pretty fucked up. No spoilers. Yeah, in fact, in level 7, there's a massive game glitch. If you fight all 3 bosses in the stage, you actually can't complete the game, because if you fight the 3rd boss, it will take away your key. So you only have to fight 2 bosses. So remember, when you're on the 7th stage, only defeat 2 bosses, and yeah, you can finish the rest of the game. You don't have to soft block it. That's annoying, but if you know that glitch ahead of time, yeah, you can still complete the game. And yeah, the game even has passwords too. So if you got a pen and paper handy, just write down your password. If you screw up or if you die in a particular stage, no problem. That's actually quite handy. Yeah, I'm just amazed because they thought of everything in this game. There's so many creative monsters to fight. Baby, here I go. Boy, Mark 2. So many ghosts, yeah. The Nerds review of Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, at least the revisited one, that one has over 7 million hits. I know, that's it, big deal. A game I remember buying $1 for at a local pawn shop or something because nobody wanted it, nobody cared. The game is now going for over $50 now, and very tough to get. Thanks a lot, James. But that's how infamous the game is now. And look at the money goes, and yeah, we're really wasting our money because the game's not any better. It's just more famous now, and people want to play it, and people want to play for the challenge. Well, Monster Party, I don't need the money ghost at all because this game is freaking cheap. I think I paid like $15 for it, $20. Either way, it wasn't that hard to get. Pretty neat game for Halloween too. Oh yeah, and that brings me here to the biggest problem here, a Monster Party. I'm sorry, the game is actually good. I know, I'm disappointed as you are. I was expecting something nice and thrilling where I can talk about all the game's horrible game designs where it's slow as hell, it's confusing to play, and all that sort of shit that the nerd covered in his review of Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. But in Monster Party, a game released a few months later, it fixes everything wrong with that game. Yeah, it's a fun parody game, so it's perfect for kids. Has a little bit of mature storyline for the adults. There's classic humor, and some of the monsters are actually parodies of characters that you might see in different movies. In fact, in the original Japanese version that sadly never got released, it was supposed to feature xenomorphs, gremlins. All that is, copyright bullshit, and they probably would have got sued out of the ass. I think that's the main reason the original Japanese version got cancelled and the American version here got so altered. Monster Party here for original 8-bit Nintendo. Yeah, some might call it a hidden gem. Just a copy of Metal Jesus Rots and all that bullshit. That's probably a reason why this game flew under the radar. It's not that people didn't like the game, it's just they couldn't find it, or it was released during a bad time. Both of these games were released out in 1989, but not during Halloween. I'm kind of smart here, I'll probably get like over 90 hits on this video because I'm releasing during Halloween. It's a horror month and all. Yeah, this game was a huge flop because it wasn't released at the proper time. If they just waited a few more months, released it during Halloween, and it probably would have sold much better. No, we just have to look back and say, what if and all that. So, in conclusion, I actually fucking recommend this game. I'm sorry it wasn't the big negative review that you all wanted. It's good. I know. What can you do? I give Monster Party here for original 8-bit Nintendo a 78 out of 100. Damn, this is a fun game with a lot of creative design to it. Yeah, this is definitely one monster that you want to put in your pocket, and it's great for any splatterhouse out there. Alright, and that's it for me. This is the Indifferent Video Game Nerd. Over and out. Yeah, look at this. I actually got this signed by James himself. Of course, I had to do it at a convention, and even though we're related, and he could have done it at the last family meeting. Yeah, and he actually charged me $5 too. Even though I didn't charge anybody else in line. Yeah, what can you do?